So how many of you have gotten to get out and look at all this beautiful landscaping around us? It didn't get here by accident, and no crowd knows that better than this group. You would never just randomly select plants and throw them out there and hope that they survive, because they wouldn't. And that's what we're talking about today, is how do we create that kind of workplace where through our planning and through our meticulous care, we create the kind of work environment where people thrive.
She brought on a new way of thinking. We got to put a little bit more focus on our employees in this type of market when it's hard to find people and keep them. We've had a lot of people leave for, just to get $1 more from a competitor. I think she offered a lot of ideas that I can bring to our management team.
And the type of engagement that we're talking about here are those employees who love to come to work. And they're the ones that I can't wait to show up, because they're my yard partners. They tell me when it's time to pull up the plumerias. They tell me, no, don't touch that clematis, it looks dead, but it's not. Now, how many of you would like to have every single one of your employees that engaged to be called yard partners? Raise your hand. Sorry, because what the research tells us is that only 30% of the workforce is actually like that. 30%.
She really talked about valuing our employees and showing them how they're valued and giving them different incentives and how to make sure that they know that they're valued by the company.
Which one of these resonates with you about what you might consider to do differently or add to in your own workplace? We have so much to learn from each other.
We're going to define excellence, and all week we're going to concentrate on excellence. Who we are, who they're working for, what's expected, and what the customers too expect, and how we can deliver that and get that in their minds every day of what they're coming into and get them excited about that week, what we're learning and what we're going to succeed with.
That's great, thank you. May I add one more thing to that? Because
Yes.
It's triggered another idea for me. Requiring your managers to go out and look for those demonstrated examples in their work crews, and to come back to your team meetings, your managerial meetings, so that they can share what is it that they're seeing. If we explain something that we want, but we need to hold people accountable for it as well. So you're recognizing and accountability all in one. That's great, thank you. And you win a prize too.
The number one thing that I want to implement when we get back is a stronger new employee orientation program, so that new employees don't feel that overwhelmingness when they first start out. They understand more where they fit within the organization.
Some of you who are in HR or in your companies, you have HR folks that are actually conducting what are called exit interviews. That's when we ask an employee, what could we have done to have made you stay? Well, that's too late, because they're leaving. What we need to conduct are what are called stay interviews. That's where we ask them, what is it that excites you about coming to work each day? What is it that you want to do in the next year? Not what do you want to be, because that's a title. What do you want to do? What do you want to learn and grow and be able to do?
When we see someone leave, bring someone else in that's new, the training process is painful.
The millennials grew up as what we called latchkey children, my daughter being one of them. They saw how much time that their parents spent at work. They don't want that. 45% of millennials will choose an organization that offers workplace flexibility over pay.
She gave a stat that, in the past there was 9 qualified people for each position, and now there's only like 1.2 or something like that. So it's really important as us as managers of people to really put them first and make them want to come work for you, because they don't have to. They have plenty of other options.
Now, if I were to ask you, can you go a little bit higher? Can you go higher? Even if you physically couldn't go higher, could you be creative and get a little higher? What could you do? Stand on a chair. If you were safe, use a ladder. But what else? Jump? Yes, there's all kinds of things. You could be really creative and innovative. It's just sometimes it takes us to look at things a little bit differently and to be creative in how we get there.